What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I really want to focus on the concept of black and white photos and why they're so awesome and why they can be so powerful when you use them in the right places. Let's just jump into it. So like I said, even though black and white photos are awesome, there are times and places to use them, right? So a lot of like well-known black and white photos are dramatic, right? So when I say dramatic, it's more so like your lighting is dramatic, your subject is dramatic. There's something drawing in the viewer, right? Like you can't take a black and white photo that is just like a, I don't know, like a butterfly in the wind. You know, you could do that, sure, but like it's not, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, that might actually work. More or less, that brings me to my example for this video, which are these two photos right here, which are two photos from a recent shoot that I did maybe a week and some change ago. And it's funny because originally I wasn't gonna make them black and white. I was just gonna do like a faded fine art look, which is pretty standard for me for this lighting setup paired with this kind of background. But I saw the potential in these shots and the drama that my model was giving off, who was really, really good at. By the way, shout out to my model, Mercedes. I'm gonna put her tag down here. She's awesome. Definitely go give her a follow. She's great. I usually don't use black and white, not because I don't like it, because I do. However, sometimes I feel like it's like a very beginner thing to do. You know, like I'm sure like a lot of photographers can vouch and say that in the beginning, instead of like color grading a photo, you just make it black and white and you'd be like, this is it, you know what I mean? But so maybe that's like my mindset. I tend to have that, but I'm sure it shifts on both sides. So like I said, it's really important that your lighting is dramatic and you set up your subject in a dramatic way if you're shooting like studio portraiture when you have full control of the situation, which leads me in to my next segment of this video, which is my setup. So let's jump into that. So as you guys can see here, I am using a giant, basically giant octabox, which is really deep, double diffuse. I want to get really nice soft light so I can really not so much focus on like a detail of the skin, right? So we don't really want like that harsh contrast. We want like that nice soft light, therefore making it dramatic and relatable. You know what I mean? Also, to her right, our left was a reflector, just to get in like a little bit of fill. That's how we got that on that side of the face. And I was using a 85mm lens, literally just to give us no face distortion, as well as good compression towards the background, as well as my 85 being my sharpest lens. And when I do headshots like this, I really want the best quality as possible. So you can't really go wrong with prime lenses, 100%. So now let's just talk editing really quick. So originally I edited this photo as a fine art and some fade and a nice retouch. That's, like I said, that's usually what I go for with this lighting and this background combination. However, when I got back into Capture One, I decided to make it black and white and kind of capitalize on how dramatic it actually looks. So let's go ahead and let's jump into what exactly I did so you guys can kind of get on the same page with like what I'm talking about. Okay, so jumping into Capture One here, as you guys can see, I already have this set up kind of with the before. So this is how the photo was originally planned to be edited. Like I said, it's more of like a fine art kind of style, you know, it's just kind of faded and you know, just like well retouched. So that's kind of like originally where I was gonna go. And then, like I said earlier, I saw the potential that it had. So let's kind of just take a look at my settings here. So literally, right, so I literally just made the conversion to black and white. I brought down my reds and my yellows a little bit, just to kind of add like a little bit more contrast, right? So yeah, let's just kick up the after. And I still kind of felt like that there wasn't enough depth, right? So I decided to go over to the tone curve. Tone curve is your best friend. This thing is so powerful. If you're not using the tone curve, you should probably get on that. I swear, it's like people get scared of the tone curve, but it's awesome. So I literally just made four, I guess technically 3 points. I literally just brought my blacks down a little bit, and I brought down our midtones just a tiny bit. I didn't touch the highlights or anything like that at all, but everything definitely came out pretty well, you know. So that's like literally the entire edit, and I basically just created the palette, right? So here's the before straight out of Photoshop, and this is the after, right? So we can see there's nothing wrong with this. It kind of almost comes down to what you like. It does actually, and this is the after. I just think it's a little bit more memorable, and it's just a little bit, you know, like more moody, you know, and I kind of wanted something more like that in my work. And that's literally like the whole video here, guys. I literally just kind of wanted to touch on black and white and how powerful it can be if you do it the right way. So if you do convert over to black and white, it's a good idea to mess around with your reds and your light, and your yellows, and you know, like mess around with your tones and your contrast. Leaving it just at the conversion, I think you might be like underselling yourself. You know what I mean? Because there's way more things that you can do. You know, and excuse me, if you guys are using Lightroom, Capture One, Photoshop, it doesn't really matter. It's like, you know, there's in this software, there's a lot that you guys can do. So that about wraps it up for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.